The Toronto Raptors have finally signed a center as they have re-signed free agent Khem Birch to a multi-year deal on a mid-level exception. But in today's video, we're going to go through the deeper meaning behind this signing and uncover what this means for the Raptors. Let's get into it. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports. This is a channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 days a week. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. This is your Friday episode where we're going through the Khem Birch signing. What does it mean for the Toronto Raptors? So if you like what you see from today's video, you got more of myself talking about the NBA and the Raptors in videos and content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to show support to the channel on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for helping me hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel. It really does mean a lot. Also, if you're looking for more NBA content in your life from Amateur Sports, check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Amateur Sports, where we go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for basketball dialogue. Link is in the description. But let's get down to business for today. We're talking about the Khem Birch signing. Khem Birch signed to the Toronto Raptors. We're still trying to figure out the details about this signing at the time of recording. By the way, just a note, I'm recording on a Thursday. The video comes out on the Friday. So if there are new details about this, my apologies. I do not have them this time. But what we do know is that Khem Birch is going to sign, well, reportedly, a multi-year deal on a mid-level exception. And mid-level exceptions are a little bit confusing, but it essentially means that Toronto is in some cap issues. So this is a player that you can sign on that exception. So you can go into the cap to bring them in. It's not going to be a break-the-bank type of signing, a very cheap signing, and we can bring him in. The Raptors and Khem Birch, I feel like, had a good relationship near the end of the season where Khem Birch came in after getting bought out the Orlando Magic and showcased for the first time in his career that, he can put the ball in the basket. He can be effective for a team, even in a starting role, which he did have to do sometimes for the Toronto Raptors. And Raptors fans, we really took a liking to Khem Birch because, honestly, that last little chunk of the season, he made it, or helped make it, somewhat bearable for a fan to watch because it was just an absolute disaster near the end of the season because the Raptors had fully committed to that tank mode and it was ugly. It was ugly, but Khem Birch was a little bit of a bright spot. Started to develop a little bit of that outside game, was finishing very well in the interior, was playing some good defense, was rebounding quite well, and it made Raptors fans kind of wonder, could this be the franchise center for the near future? Could he be our starting center for next season? Bring him back, run it back with a similar team, add in some new pieces around them, and see what we can do. But now we're in a situation where we didn't really get new pieces, and we kind of still have the same roster, minus Kyle Lowry. We're going to add in probably Precious Achiuwa. Goran Dragic, we still don't really know what's going to go on with that. I'm starting to think that Goran Dragic is here to stay with the Toronto Raptors, so we'll see what comes of all that situation. But didn't really get ourselves any better here with this free agent class, and Khem Birch is the center that does come in, even though there were other centers on the board like Nerlens Noel, like Richaun Holmes, like Jarrett Allen, who were available for the Raptors to take here, but they elected to go for Khem Birch. But my thinking in this situation here, and this is why I'm trying to uncover a bit of a deeper meaning behind this, because Khem Birch signed, apparently, it was about August 5th when we started to really hear it, maybe August 4th when we really started to hear about stuff going on, which was, a couple of days after a lot of centers fell off the board, after the Raptors had already traded Lowry, signed Gary Trent. Business had been made by a lot of teams, and it seemed like teams who went out and got their guy got it done within, I'd say, 28 hours of free agency starting by 10 p.m. Eastern time the next day. And the Raptors still didn't have their center at that given situation. But reports are starting to emerge about signing Khem Birch. But the fact that it took the Raptors this long to figure out the Khem Birch situation, and the fact that he was only really brought in on that mid-level, kind of makes me think that maybe this wasn't the guy that we wanted to bring in initially, and we just kind of settled for him here. Maybe the Raptors were trying to pursue somebody and didn't end up getting them in free agency for whatever reason. I feel like there was a strong likening for Richaun Holmes, but for whatever reason, they were reluctant to give him the long-term deal. Sacramento gave him the 4-year, $55 million, and the Raptors, I believe, could have easily given more money, but they didn't want to commit to Richaun Holmes for that long. But they do, in this situation, want to commit to Khem Birch for a lengthy period of time. And it's also possible the Raptors had to wait until they could waive a bunch of players. They waived Bembry, they waived Paul Watson, then they waived Rodney Hood, as well as finally waiving Aaron Baines. The Aaron Baines era is over in Toronto. And what we have now for a center core, after 2 years ago, we had Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. Then we went to Aaron Baines and Alex Len. And I believe this season is going to look something like Khem Birch, Precious Achiuwa, and also Freddie Gillespie. Now, those are 3 solid players. I really like Precious Achiuwa as a prospect. I'm starting to think I'm a little bit higher on Precious Achiuwa than some other people. People are calling Precious Achiuwa a little bit undersized, which makes little sense to me because the same people who say that, oh, we don't need Precious Achiuwa, he's undersized in the center position, are also saying that, oh, we need to bring back Khem Birch. Well, they're pretty much the same size. They're both about 6'9". So, if you're fine with Khem Birch's height, then you're going to be fine with Precious Achiuwa's height. I'd say maybe even a little bit better because of that wingspan, because of the body. He lays on the glass. Precious Achiuwa is a great rebounder despite his height, everybody. But the main topic at hand is Khem Birch. So I don't think Khem Birch per se was their number one option. I think this is, okay, we're going to settle for Khem Birch in this situation. I think ideally, Khem Birch is probably your backup center, but it looks as though Khem Birch is going to be the starting center for the Raptors this season. I doubt Precious Achiuwa comes in and starts. I doubt Freddie Gillespie gets that starting nod at this point in his career. So Khem Birch is going to come in and be that starter. But what can we expect from Khem Birch here? Because let's look at his stats from last season with the Toronto Raptors. Because he started the season with Orlando where, he was about a 5-point per game player over his entire Orlando career. But he came to the Raptors and showcased that maybe he actually has some talent, putting up 11.9 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, which included 3 offensive rebounds per game, which is very, very nice. 1.2 blocks per game, is a decent defender on the interior, and he scored very efficiently, over 55% shooting from the field. And one thing we really do have to take note of is that 3-point percentage, 29% shooting from 3. Khem Birch made 9 3-pointers in his 19 games with the Toronto Raptors. That is more than the rest of his NBA career combined. In his first 3 seasons in the NBA, did not shoot a single 3-pointer. In that good chunk of the season he spent with Orlando, he only made 4 3-pointers. So, outside chance that Khem Birch develops a serviceable 3-point game that provides floor spacing for the Raptors who desperately need that floor spacing. Maybe not the best floor spacing, but surely Khem Birch is recognizing that this is something of his game that he can add, and he is going to work on adding it. I believe that Khem Birch will be a 30% 3-point shooter next season plus, which makes that a nice addition to the Toronto Raptors on offense. But is Khem Birch really the guy that we want to commit to as the starting center? Because, we're betting on him based on this half of the season, not even half of the season, that he spent with the Raptors where he played well. He played well. Did he play as a starting center? I don't think he put up starter level numbers, but this is solid. Maybe I'm okay with him starting. I would have preferred somebody better. But I think we can accept him as a starter, but we have to bet on him producing this talent yet again. I think working with the same system, the same players, will significantly aid him, and I think that Raptors may be going for a more winning mentality this season. I think that's going to help him as well. So I don't know if he'll put up quite this much, but I think that he'll put somewhere reminiscent of this, and I think that if he has a good season, he can exceed the stats that he showcased with the Toronto Raptors. So as far as that is concerned, Khem Birch is a solid center to your team. But in my opinion, if the Raptors truly wanted to go and win games this season, truly wanted to go make a playoff push, they should have signed a different center. They should have signed a better center like a Richaun Holmes. And I'm still really gutted. I'm still really dejected the Raptors did not go out and get some of those centers for their team, because I felt like this team, with the core in place of Siakam, Van Vliet, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent, had the potential to, make a splash in the playoffs, at least go into playoffs, maybe get out of the first round, go to the second round. It's not a bad thing to be a good team that doesn't, have that contention ability. You can be a team that's good, makes the playoffs without being contender, but also not having to tank. But a lot of people feel like it's either you tank or you're a contender. It's good for player development to be that good team, to be that team in the playoffs. It's not just going to happen overnight. But it really does seem like the front office, again, and it's really strikingly odd to me that the front office is committed to this sort of season where we are not really going to go for it. We're just kind of hold what we have and see how players develop. It is a bit weird to me. I would have liked to have seen what this core can produce at their full potential, but it doesn't seem like the front office is going to unleash that potential upon this Raptors core. And I think that signing Khem Birch really does demonstrate that about what the front office's plans are here. A nice cheap cheap center. He's reliable. I think to start in the center position is just not quite the tier of center that I was hoping for to have for this team. Am I happy to have Khem Birch back? I am absolutely happy to have Khem Birch back. I really want him to be our backup center. And, thinking about it right now, based on all the centers that are gone, based on who's left, pretty much Khem Birch is the best available center on the market. And the Raptors desperately need a center. And at least they got one here in Khem Birch that we can rely on, that we know about. We know he's going to come into the team. He's going to be comfortable with the setting. And maybe playing in Toronto is just going to unlock something a little bit different. Playing in his home country for the first time in a Raptors uniform, having only played for the Raptors in Tampa, maybe that will get something a little bit different from Khem Birch. But I think there is, the deeper thing behind this is that this is just further proof that the front office is not really committed to going out and beating the best team possible this season. It's basically, whatever we have, let's see what we can do. And they're flexible for trades. They're flexible in trading pretty much anybody on the team. I think that we're producing a team that nobody is untouchable. And as we head towards the deadline of this season, this is more of a way too early prediction, but as we head towards the deadline, the trade deadline this season, we're probably looking at a lot of Raptors going to be on the block, because I think this team is going to produce some talent in spells. But I'm not sure if this team is going to be consistent enough to truly lock in on a playoff position. And for that reason, there's going to be teams coming in like vultures trying to pick apart our roster, try to bring in assets for them as they try to go for a championship, which the Raptors currently are not equipped to do. And I don't think anything in free agency would have really equipped them to do that, but I would have liked to have seen some progress, and I don't think that we are seeing that. And that's making us very frustrated with the front office. When we signed Khem Birch for the first time after he got bought out by Orlando, I made a video very similar to this, the deeper meaning behind it. And I said that, signing Khem Birch makes it seem like the Raptors are trying to go for this and trying to be a playoff team, get into the play-in. But obviously the opposite with true. But I really feel like in this scenario, signing Khem Birch isn't a sign that we are truly going for it. Signing Khem Birch to me showcases that this team is comfortable with where they are. They're comfortable not being, at their max potential. They're comfortable not making those win now type of maneuvers. They want to keep flexibility. They want to keep the possibility of, where we can just pivot at any point to really either go for it, or maybe we get some assets and continue to build for the future. But they're flexible. But the current course is to hold what we have. That may be a little bit of a sad sight for Raptors fans, but that is the reality. So what do you guys make of the Raptors signing Khem Birch? Do you like this pickup? Do you think we should have gotten somebody better? I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that wraps up with me for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are, so be sure to hit that like button, smash the like button for Free Agent Week. Thank you guys so much for the support coming on the channel. When you like the video, it really goes a long way to helping us reach some new viewers for the channel with that YouTube algorithm. Also, it shows me that you made it to the end of the video. Check out our Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports, where we do NBA content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, Q&As, discussion, dialogue about everything concerning the basketball world. Make sure you check it out, the link in the description. Subscribe to the channel on a road to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for helping me get to 5,000, but we are on a road to 6,000 now, and we are not stopping anytime soon. Some other videos about the channel you may enjoy, and always remember, at the end of the day, believe what I say. If you disagree, that is okay. Enjoy the grind, and I'll see you again next time for another video.